Detroit is the greatest! Straight up light you on fire for a Coney dog right now.
Takes, throws, end zone, Calvin, touchdown, Detroit Lions!
In the air, left field, the Tigers march to the World Series!
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. I'm Vinny Stubbs. Sitting across from me is the king, Jason Jarvi. Jason Jarvi, how are you, my good friend?
I'm good. You seem very neutral right now.
What does that mean?
You're not your normal self. I don't hear the Motor City Sports.
Come on, man. Can you please get the camera out of my face? Well, I'm depressed, man. The Tigers got my hopes and dreams shattered.
Let's hold off on the Tigers just a little bit.
I know. I'm kind of bummed out. I'm really bummed out, man.
How's your week been? It's been a little while since I've seen you.
Oh, it's been okay. I quit smoking cigarettes, and
it's really good. I applaud you for that.
Should.
That's
Everybody
hard.
That's
tough.
Dude, it's so hard. Well, I quit smoking cigarettes. I'm trying to get my mind right and trying to salvage a little bit of my relationship that I got left. And I don't know if it's really working too much. There's just no compromise. There's no compromise. And, she went to Jobby Nooner, and then she went to this place called Torch Lake for the 4th of July weekend. And I was stuck here working and doing a podcast with Adam and John. And she comes back.
And it was a great show, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. It
was the porno trivia.
Porno trivia. I put my heart and soul into that.
And you lost.
Trivia. I still lost. Adam is a pornography aficionado. I had no idea
he is a degenerate.
I had no idea how deep into the porn game he was. But
do we have a status update on if Adam has gone to a stylist yet?
Yes, I did tweet him out yesterday. Did he go to a stylist? Not yet. He will tweet a before and after his first appearance with a stylist.
Can I add something? Do not go to a stylist, Adam. Seriously. I won't talk to you anymore.
Where do you go, Vinny? Do you get your hair cut just a normal place? Do you actually go to a barber shop?
I go to a place called The Cutting Corner in Livonia on Plymouth and Farmington. The guy does an excellent job. The problem is, every time I go in there, he puts me down for going to school for radio, and then he cuts my hair too short on top, and I tell him, don't cut it short on top.
Well, it doesn't matter because you're going to be on radio. So.
Well, it doesn't matter. I'm sitting there, I'm tipping the guy, and he's supposed to make me feel good about myself. Instead, he makes me feel awful about myself, and then he butchers the top of my scalp and kicks me out. And then I got to pay $20. Don't go to a stylist.
I just go to Great Clips. I pay $10. That's all I need. I usually get either, like John said, he usually gets a 3 or a 2 all the way around, or maybe I'll switch it up. I'll do a 2 on the sides and a 4 on top.
I get a quarter on the sides, and I just keep the top long. Just don't even mess with it.
You like to style that a little bit with some gel.
Just my fingers.
Makes it look good with the duck face.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. I don't even realize I'm doing it. So anyway, about my girlfriend, she's on a boat right now. So she goes to Torch Lake for 5 days while working to a podcast, and she comes back. She works one day, and I got to coddle her, Jason. It's crazy, dude. She works one day. She goes, I'm going home. I'm tired. I'm like, good. Please go home. Relax. Go and just relax today. Lay down.
It sounds really nice. It sounds like you're, thinking of her needs.
And she doesn't care about that. She goes, oh, what are you going to do? I go, listen, I'm going to go pick up my brother from the apartment. We're going to go down to the local pub, have some beers with the boys, and watch the Tigers. Forget it. Get the Netflix remote. Put something with Nicolas Cage on, honey. I'm going to lay here with you all night long. Yeah.
So what Nick Cage movie did you watch?
Oh, my God. I don't even know, Jason.
National Treasure 1 or 2?
They might as well change the name of Netflix to Nicolas Cage. And it's all the same plot. Nicolas Cage's daughter gets abducted, and he has to go find her. Rated PG-13. I swear to God, every movie on Netflix is Nicolas Cage, and his daughter gets abducted, and he's got to go find her.
Do you have a favorite Nicolas Cage movie, though?
Face Off.
Face Off was a good movie. I liked Con Air.
Con Air was good.
Dude.
Those are the only 2 good movies he's ever been in.
I love The Rock, though. Sean Connery.
1997.
I don't know what date that
Those little
was.
green things.
Yeah.
I remember that movie.
The VX gas.
God,
What'd you guys think of Leaving Las Vegas with Elizabeth Shue?
I never seen
that was a good one. You know, he's a drunkard and he's just like going through and
That is
plowing
a good
Elizabeth Shue. That was a good
It's
one.
it's on my list to see. One of my favorite YouTube videos to watch though is Nick Cage losing his shit. It's I would tell everybody to look that up on YouTube. It's the best 4 minutes that you'll have that day.
Do you know the first movie Nicolas Cage has ever appeared in? Fast Times at Ridgemont High. You ever seen that movie with Sean Penn? He's the stoner, Jess McCauley.
It's a great movie. That's a classic.
They're working in a fast food restaurant, and he's in the back flipping burgers.
Nice.
Pay close attention next time you see that movie. It was the first appearance he's ever made in any movie.
In the YouTube video, why is he losing his shit? What's going on? What's he mad at?
No, it's something that he does in like all of his movies, and it's different scenes from different movies, from spanning from his early days to his new days. It ends with a Wicker Man. I'm not sure if anybody's seen that, but apparently at the end of that, they put this kind of like helmet on him, and they pour bees in it. So the end of the video is just Sam.
Oh, no, not the bees! Not the bees! Ah! Oh, my eyes! My eyes! Ah! Ah!
It's fabulous. You gotta watch it.
I hate Nicolas Cage.
So just like Nick Cage's movie career, let's jump into the Tigers.
Oh,
It's looking dreadful.
It's not looking dreadful. They lost 3 in a row before the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
They needed to get into the All-Star break.
They went 44 and 44 going into the All-Star break.
Yeah, and I was real skeptical. Last night I watched the game, and they kicked some ass. They took care of business. But once again, late into the game, who was in there? Was it Soria? Soria was getting lit up, man. He's got to get his act together.
Yeah, it was real touch and go there in that 9th inning. They brought him in.
Yeah.
And, he gives up 2. Here, he puts two men on base.
Mm-hmm.
It was looking sketchy there. He almost walked another guy to load the bases. And, when that 9th inning started, I was listening on the radio, and I was like, okay, let's finish the game. They're up 7-3. And it just reminded me back to the 8-6 loss against the Twins. I mean, what's this team really going to be?
500?
And
that's not good enough.
That's what I've been saying. I think this team really is. They're going to end up 500,
I don't want
81 and 81.
I don't want them to sell, though. Those 3 games they lost to the Twins,
Don't
they
you
were
think
outscored 24-12?
Don't you think it's a little worrying, though, that a lot of their offense, they're really relying on the long ball. They're getting a ton of runs. I mean, it's great. It's, you love to see guys hit home runs, but, how long can JD Martinez and Victor Martinez, hit a home run every game or every other game and then rely on your starting pitching?
I don't know. I think these starters have to go deep into the game, and they have to hit. With Cabrera out of the lineup, you said he's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, we probably don't see him until at least August 15th.
Wow, I thought he was on a 15-day DL. This is what you do. I don't know who the hell you can trade. I don't know what you can do. I like Dan Herron from the Florida Marlins. I got it written down here somewhere. Oh, here it is. Dan Herron, righty, 7-5, 3.24 ERA with 79 strikeouts. Not that great. But Miami's 38-52, so whatever. And the lefty Scott Kazmir, who's 500. With a 2.49 ERA with 96 strikeouts, but he's talking to the Yankees. So you possibly get a guy named like Dan Herron, 7-5. You're not going to get Johnny Cueto. He's 500. I heard he's going to the Dodgers. So Dan Herron's your guy. He's 34 years old. Then you get Jonathan Papelbon. The Phillies need to rebuild. They need to kick his ass out of there.
Come to the trade deadline, though.
They might as well just hand him over to us.
Regardless, that would be nice, but that's not the way business works.
I know.
I mean, who do you think we're really going to be able to give up? I mean, I don't know. Dan Herron and Scott Kazmir, they are lower end trade prospects. You can probably get away with maybe some of our guys, but wouldn't we just be stealing from our cupboard?
I don't know.
You're emptying the cupboard even more.
Get some draft picks away for Papelbon and Dan Herron. I don't know who you're going to trade. Cespedes, the Miami Marlins, they can't afford him. Miami never signs their guys.
And I feel like you'd want to get more for Cespedes, or God forbid we try and trade David Price.
No, they can't, because they're not going to be sellers. They're going to be buyers. This is their last year. That
is the thing. I think if you were sellers, and like me and John talked last week on the podcast, the Tigers, if they were a smart team, they'd be sellers. They'd try and get as much as they could for David Price and Yoenis Cespedes, try and build up, try to get some prospects into AAA so that in a year or two we can bring up these guys and really start building this team like, the Kansas City Royals did. It sucked for...
That'll take forever.
It sucked for KC because, they were bad for so long and they got so many high draft choices. So they kind of lucked into guys like Eric Hosmer and Mike Moustakas.
Those guys took a long time to pan out, too, by the way.
So, aren't we kind of seeing the same thing, though, with Nick Castellanos?
Dude,
he was one of our top prospects, and we brought him up, and he's still kind of struggling.
Struggling? That guy sucks. He's really terrible. Oh, damn it. Check this out. I don't know. Price, this is what you do. Price, 9-2, 2.38 ERA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Verlander, the number 2 pitcher. He's 0-2 with a 5.34, but he's looking really promising. I don't know how deflating that loss was last Friday against the Twins when they were up 6-1 and blew it in the 9th inning, thanks to your boy Wilson, who I blew 2 weeks ago. So, Price, Verlander number 2, Sanchez number 3. He was 6-7 just like 3 or 4 weeks ago with a 5.69 ERA. Now he's 9-7 with a 4.55 ERA. So he's starting to do good. He's your 3rd pitcher. Dan Herron's your 4th guy. Keep Shane Green's ass down. So you keep Dan Herron. So you got Price, Verlander, Sanchez, Herron, Simon.
Alfredo Simon.
He's 8-6 with a 4.53 ERA. So he's very shaky, but when he's on, he's on. He does his thing. So then after that, you can bring in a Bruce Rondon or a Wilson. And then Soria is really rattled. I don't know why. He was doing so good at first, but his confidence is starting to get flushed down the toilet. So you bring him in as your 8th inning guy and then get Jonathan Papelbon.
Hey,
and then you make a push for the wild card.
I think, that's all sounds well and good. I think the 3 main guys that you're really going to have to rely on, though, are your top 3, Price, Verlander, and Sanchez.
Right.
And, don't you kind of think that, if they get into August and they're relatively still close to a wild card spot, you kind of have to almost pencil in a win for each of those guys every start. I know. Price, definitely. You need him to go out and win every time, whether he gets the win or it's a no decision and we end up winning. And Verlander, hopefully, after that 8-6 loss, after his first game, he kind of sounded almost infuriatingly positive about his start. So maybe he can start. Maybe that 8-6 loss doesn't really affect him, and hopefully that
it affected everybody in Detroit. That was crazy.
But players, though, they play 162 games. They can't let one loss really dictate the rest of their season.
I hate Brian Dozier. I do.
Yeah,
and Todd Frazier.
It was horrible.
Give me a break.
The Todd father.
I've seen that sign too.
All right, guys, let me ask you guys this. I'm curious. JV kind of came out and was like, guys, stay positive. Let's try to focus on the positives of this team. In the past, they had a history late in the season. I think a couple seasons back, they came back from 6 games back to beat the White Sox to win the division. Now, most people are thinking this team is not going to win the division because of Kansas City. If they can put together some wins, if the starting pitching can come around, if the hitting stays like this, do you guys have any confidence that they could get to the wild card? They're only 3.5 games back.
4 games back.
4 games back now?
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I do have confidence in that.
You do have confidence potentially. I know it's tough to say, hey, buy in the hopes of getting to the wild card. I do feel like the glimmer of hope is still there. And
it is.
It's crazy that I'm the voice of positivity, but I do think that if a couple good weeks, we're only playing Baltimore and Seattle the next couple weeks at home, so the next 7 games in Detroit, we have a chance.
I'm the most negative human being on the face of the earth.
I'm not 100% ready. I'm like 90% skeptical, but I still have 10% positivity in my mind.
There's a chance.
Yeah, personally, I think it's too many things have to go right for the Tigers right now. They're almost everybody in the AL is only 8 games out. Mm-hmm. I think that's a true stat.
Oh damn, you got to worry about the Astros too.
You got to worry about everybody. Everybody's in play. Let's just look at the Central.
Damn it.
The Cleveland Indians, they have good pitching. I think they have better starters right now than we do. Price, I think he's probably the best pitcher between the 2 teams, but as a solid whole, Indians have better pitching. If they can put it together, why couldn't they make it in the wild card? So I think just too much has to go right for the Tigers to really salvage this season. And they're not going to be sellers. So it's going to be bad.
Why did Dombrowski hire Osmus? What a dick. Shit for brains, man. You could have got a better candidate than Brad Osmus, man. Seriously.
And then the other point is Dombrowski doesn't have a contract.
I know. He's leaving. He's going to go to the MLB with Joe Torre. It's over, man. Avila. All hail Alex Avila. Avila. Whatever the hell you say. It's done.
I don't think.
Oh, by the way, I heard they're talking about trading Alex Avila to the Seattle Mariners via Bless You Boys.
I don't take as much stock in the whole Dombrowski not having a contract. I see the points that you guys make. When you're at this level, you're there to do a job. If you're going to do it, it would be collusion. How could you really even trust that guy on any team if he was actually making moves for the future as on a different
Dombrowski?
team? Yeah.
That'd be a boss move, wouldn't it? If he traded Price to the Angels and then he showed up at the Angels, that'd be a boss move.
Oh, my God. He would be the Antichrist.
Be a dick move.
That would be dick move.
He's going to go to the MLB and work for the MLB, trust me. Who keeps throwing this Angels? I keep hearing Angels
I think John
everywhere.
might be the only one who's throwing
No, I've been hearing that a lot lately, man. Maybe it's because I listen to your podcast.
I don't know.
What the hell were you talking
He's getting
about?
it from his 5 phones. He's got so much information. I think he might be a computer.
Well, wait a minute.
The Tigers are
think about this.
4.5 games
Do the Angels have a general manager in place currently?
No,
that's
they
permanent.
don't.
Okay. If Dave Dombrowski's not there, do you not pick up the phone call?
That's a good point.
Do you not pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Dave, you've built the Tigers up the last decade"? I'd give him a call
The
for
Angels
sure.
are already built up, though. They're just not winning. I don't know if it was the GM or Sosha.
I don't know. Maybe I'm. Oh God. Maybe
Damn,
I'm
I wish
starting.
the Tigers had Sosha.
Maybe I'm starting to come around now. Because are they in a similar position as where the Tigers were when they were making World Series? They have Trout, they have Pujols, and so if they got Price, it'd be the same thing. He's like you said on the last podcast. He knows how to build teams with MLB talent. He doesn't know how to build them up from the minor league. So we'll see.
We
but
will see.
they have 12 games until they get to July 30th.
Oh man, couldn't you?
They have
please win some games?
two more against the Orioles.
Okay.
4 against the Mariners at home.
Awesome.
And then they go to the Red Sox for 3 and the Rays for 3.
Damn.
12 games. How many games do they need to win to really, tell you, hey, they're still in this or
Okay.
they're not in
It's always
it?
hard to win in Fenway, but they suck this year. So you have to win at least one of those. I want to see you sweep the Mariners, and I want to see you win 2 from Baltimore. I want to go 8-4. 8-4 with the Rays are pretty good though.
So
8-4. Come
2
on, they
more-
can do 8-4, right?
2 more against the Orioles. You want them to win both of those?
Yeah, I want them to win tonight and possibly tomorrow. At least win
So 2.
one more of those.
You want them to sweep the Mariners. That gives them 6 wins. So then
they're
you
not.
want
You
them
know
to
they're not
get.
going to sweep the Mariners.
So let's say
I just want them.
Let's
to.
just say they get 3 wins out of there. So they get
What? 3 wins out of what? Out of the rest of the 5 that they got at home?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so they're 3-2,
Okay.
and then you have 3 against the Red Sox,
Yep.
3 against the Rays.
Yep. I want them to win at least 1 against the Red Sox and 2 against the Rays.
Okay, and you think that's enough though to really,
I don't know.
at the trade deadline to really determine if they're going to be buyers or sellers?
It's not over, but that does determine whether or not they're buyers or sellers.
I think you gotta. For me, I need to see them win a lot of these games. They need to take care of the Orioles. It'd be nice if they swept it.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Yeah, because that's the way. That's the way you get into the postseason.
Buck Showalter's
All you had to
a
do is win your series.
I feel bad for Buck Showalter. How are they under 500? Jesus.
I mean,
Did
for
you see
me,
Chris Davis's average in his power. He's batting like 196 with 1,000 home runs. How
For
is
me,
that
the-
possible?
they gotta finish out the sweep of the Orioles. They have to at least split with the Mariners and then win both of the series with the Red Sox and the Rays.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that would be for me to say, hey, this team still has a chance.
Right.
I'm still going to stick by my decision right now that they're probably not going to make it. And
Oh, I said they were going 500 at the beginning of the year. And I hope I'm wrong, but dude, it's pretty bad. Let me add this before we go to break. Alex Avila, they're talking about trading him to Seattle for a pitching prospect. Edwin Diaz, he's 21 years old and would be ready by 2017. I'm not high on it, but listen, Alex Avila, 198, 3 home runs and 10 RBIs. He's 28 years old. McCann, 279, 4 home runs, 21 RBIs, and he's 25 years old.
I would
Taking
do-
a lot less of a beating behind the plate.
I would
too.
do that in a heartbeat.
They don't have
If you can
choice.
get anything for Alex Avila, I mean, yeah, that's just gravy. Because the guy he's got to be, he's close to done.
I don't know if he's done behind the plate, but the guy cannot hit.
I mean, what do
He
you
can't
think,
hit.
John? I mean, do you think Alex Avila, really getting anything from him at this point would be great.
100%. The play of James McCann has done enough for me to say.
Who's going to back up McCann, though?
Brian
Holiday.
Oh, man.
So, yeah, McCann's done enough to earn the job, and I have no problem if they would trade Alex Avila. And guys,
So wait,
don't rest on Neftali Felice. He's come in, has been a little bit solid, a little bit more consistent than the others. And if the other pitchers in the bullpen just do a little bit better, then it's starting to round down to shape. Felice hasn't been that bad in his couple appearances. He's gotten guys out.
So maybe if we do trade Avila, Al Avila will not be our next GM. So let's go ahead and trade him. I don't want Al Avila being our GM here.
All right, well, we're going to take a break.
Absolutely.
When we come back, we're going to talk some Lions. It's football season, people.
Smell it in the air.
Get excited. It's the beginning of the year.
Oh, my God. Please.
And then, of course, we have Length of Girth.
And the Get Laid Bar of the Week on Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com.
Doc here for DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Check out and visit our website and check out the great deals that are available 24/7. If you're shopping online, the free and easy way to support us is to visit our website, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Click through the banner links, check out the Amazon banner, get great deals every single day. If you like what you're listening to, if you like hearing the Motor City Sports Rant every Monday, if you like hearing Doc and Jock every Thursday, support our project by going to our website, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. If you're interested in going downtown, picking up one of those bobbleheads, I know when this podcast comes out, David Price is having a bobblehead night. Go to our website. Get tickets very cheap. Search for high-quality tickets at affordable prices. DetroitSportsPodcast.com, the free and easy way to support our project and help us keep growing the Detroit Sports Podcast Network. And now back to Jarvi and Stubbs on the Motor City Sports Rant.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com. Jason Jarvi.
Football is almost here.
Oh, my goodness.
We're almost at the end of July.
I cannot wait.
NFL training camps, they're going to be starting up soon.
Oh,
ESPN, they'll be traveling around to all the different teams. You'll get to, get your insights.
That's unbelievable.
that's really unbelievable.
Matt
I
Stafford.
can't wait, dude. It's really unbelievable.
Just 4 weeks until the first preseason game.
I'm going.
For all you fantasy geeks, we're going to have a fantasy show starting on the Detroit Sports Podcast.
Mm-hmm.
If any of you actually want to hear my voice on the radio, starting this Thursday, we're having a kickoff show with Dennis Farrell, the Fantasy Sideline Show.
I like that
8
guy.
p.m. to 10 p.m. And then following that every Sunday, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m.
Absolutely.
To give you all of your updates on the players that you need to start for every week in the fantasy.
Wait a minute, that was you on the podcast on Periscope at 105.1 with Dennis and Jake Chapman?
It was.
You're the man. You're the man. You
Someone was
deserve
being
it.
shy.
Good job, buddy.
It was it's my first time on the big show, on the big stage.
Oh, who cares? You got it, dude. Good
But
man.
yeah, football is here, and somebody's already hating on the Lions.
Who?
I think
Me?
no, it's somebody with your namesake.
Oh, my God. Okay, let me tell you about this prick. This guy has no credibility whatsoever, at least to me. But he has my name, so I have to take him somewhat serious. But then again, I kind of don't. His name is Vinny Iyer. Iyer from Sporting News. If you could follow this guy on Twitter, please don't. And if you think about it, just message him and call him a prick and move
What
forward.
a dick.
Listen, he came out with an article. What was it? When was the article made? Yesterday?
Sometime this week.
Sometime, yeah.
Okay, sometime this week from Sporting News. He ranked the top 25 quarterbacks in the NFL. And for the most part, the guy's on.
Who's number one?
Who do you think? It's Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers,
okay,
of course.
That's nothing. That's right. Okay. I don't even know where to begin. It's not that bad. The top 10, I would say he's almost spot on. It's after that really pisses me off. And it pisses me off with Matt Stafford. And I'm Matt Stafford's biggest critic ever. I'm so negative when it comes
I
to the
know, you
Lions.
hate Matt Stafford.
I don't hate Matt Stafford. I think he's very inconsistent. I think his arm is so sick.
You hate
I don't
his
know
arm.
why. I don't know why he's that inconsistent. I don't know why he's heading into what is it, his 8th year, 7th year.
You hate his name.
I don't know
Matthew.
why he hasn't won a playoff game yet. Hopefully this is his year with that offensive line. Hopefully they got a running game. I kind of doubt it knowing the Lions, especially with all those nationally televised games. Anyway, let's start at 10. This is going to blow your mind away. Okay, listen, first of all, the guy ranked okay, I'm not going to sugarcoat it anymore. He ranked Matt Stafford number 20 out of 32.
What a dick.
He is completely a dick for this. I don't know
Even
how much
for
credibility
you.
this guy has, but I hate this guy. Do you know who he's got over Matt Stafford?
I don't know who.
Andy Dalton at 19.
The redheaded stepchild.
Yes, this is really going to make you puke. Carson Palmer at 18. Alex Smith at 16.
Smith right now is the only one that I really have a problem with.
Teddy Bridgewater at 15. Why? I don't know. Ryan Tannehill at 14. And Cam Newton at 13. Matt Stafford's better than all those guys. I'm sorry.
I think you can make arguments, though.
No, you can't make an argument with that.
You can make arguments. So let's compare. Let's go. Ryan Tannehill.
Right.
I think he
went 8-8 last year.
One of the things, though, I think that hurts Stafford is that he has been in the league longer than most of those guys.
And Carson Palmer?
Carson Palmer isn't that bad.
He's better than Matt Stafford?
He was leading the Cardinals last year until he got hurt. I think Carson Palmer isn't that bad.
I like Carson Palmer. I had no problem with Carson Palmer. I always thought Carson Palmer was going to pan out and be really good.
Some of these guys have been to more playoff games. Andy Dalton's been to more playoffs than Matt Stafford.
Bridgewater has? Tannehill has?
Bridgewater, though, has only been in the league 1 year.
Carson Palmer and Stafford are like tied.
Bridgewater was in the league only 1 year, and he didn't have Adrian Peterson. This year with Adrian Peterson, they have, who did they sign? They got Mike Wallace. They have Mike Wallace.
Who, Miami? Oh,
he's on the Vikings now.
Yeah.
And, they still have Cordell Patterson. They have that Charles Johnson. He could be he could be good. So I think it's related to how he's done. I mean, a lot of things that you say about Stafford are true. That he routinely overthrows guys.
Oh my God, that's an understatement.
He locks into guys like Calvin Johnson.
Right.
So this is really going to be the year.
This is the best O-line he's ever had on paper. So I don't know. We'll see. Joe Lombardi is not the greatest offensive coordinator on the planet. In fact, sometimes I've seen he wasn't as predictable as Scott Linehan. But last year, there were some plays that it was like, what the hell is going on? And if they didn't have Golden Tate, they might have went 7-9 last year with Johnson out.
So realistically, where do you think Stafford deserves to be on this list?
I think Stafford's better than Dalton, Carson Palmer, Colin Kaepernick, Alex Smith, Teddy Bridgewater, Ryan Tannehill, and Cam Newton. He belongs right under Joe Flacco. So I think Matt Stafford is the 13th best quarterback in the NFL.
For that list, all of those guys, it's kind of hard to really assign a number to them because none of those guys that you listed have, I don't think, aside from maybe Cam Newton, have, or Alex Smith, who
Kaepernick went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
that was with Harbaugh.
Yeah, that was with Harbaugh. The Jesus in khakis.
Yeah, he is.
I think all those guys are kind of interchangeable. Cam Newton could easily finish, where Stafford is, his 20th, and Ryan Tannehill. These guys are all unproven.
Ryan
Tannehill.
Oh, okay.
So I think it's tough that to see that Stafford's rated 20th, but I think really a lot of those guys are very interchangeable. You could once you get to 12, you're at Joe Flacco and Eli Manning. Both of those guys are multiple Super Bowl winners. You can't really argue with those guys.
Right.
So you're really getting into the upper echelon of quarterbacks. So this season I think we'll really see.
Yeah, we will see.
Now
their schedule's brutal, dude.
Now, fellas, I got one of my 5 phones out. You guys are talking Stafford. Last year, he had a 60% completion percentage, 4,257 yards with 22 touchdowns and 12 interceptions.
What's wrong with that?
That's
he needs
not
more
bad.
TDs, but
that's not bad. But I think a lot of people are
only
really
12 picks.
Yeah, only 12 picks.
He had 18 turnovers though, because he had six fumbles.
Yeah, I see.
Remember, I said it was 20.
I remember.
What's 12 plus 6? It was 20.
A lot of people, when they talk about Stafford,
Oh my God!
when people talk about Stafford, they say, "Well, why isn't he the guy that's throwing for 5,000 yards and 41 touchdowns?" So when they look at those numbers,
Lombardi's got them more balanced.
That's what I'm saying. I think the reason why Vinny ranked him that low is because this year he's going to be under control and he's not going to be the gunslinger because I don't think they believe he can do it. I think they're going to want to mold him
right now.
Well, if he's going to be more under control, don't you think you would rate him higher? Because
no, he's not going to have the stats. He's going to dink and dunk. He's not going to have. I think they're going to run the ball more. I don't think the stats that he's going to produce this year are going to be that much significantly higher than what he did last year. 22 touchdowns. He might be in the 18 to 22 range this year.
But this isn't fantasy ratings. I think this is based on how they're running their teams. Because Ben Roethlisberger, as the number 2 quarterback, that's not stat wise. He's not going to be as good as Aaron Rodgers or even Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck, Aaron Rodgers, fantasy-wise, yeah, those are the best fantasy quarterbacks. But as far as NFL quarterbacks, why wouldn't if Stafford is going to be a more controlled and a more of a game manager, then he should be rated higher. He should be more up into that Joe Flacco, Eli Manning, because those are guys, they manage their games, and it's more about getting yards, getting good opportunities, and let your defense really help you win the game.
Andy Dalton, 19 touchdowns and 17 interceptions.
No soul.
33-98, 3,400 yards. He's over Stafford right here.
He also didn't have A.J. Green for most of the year, who that guy killed me.
He threw 17 interceptions. So, who knows? I'm holding the fart in, though, so let's go to break.
We're not going to break just yet.
Okay.
Let it go.
All right.
But Lions training camp coming up.
Oh.
You know, what player do you think is going to surprise people the most this year?
For the Lions, I think Ebron's going to drop more balls than he did last year, so that's going to be quite a surprise.
Surprise people in a good way.
Shoot. Let's go. Really scratch my. Tahir Whitehead.
Tahir Whitehead, the linebacker.
I think he's going to have over 110 tackles. I really do. I think he's going to be a ferocious monster this year.
Do you think they'll have him on the outside, or
I'm not sure?
Because I mean, it's Stephen Tulloch coming back. He's probably taking over the middle.
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. But he had 86 tackles last year, I think. His stats have gone up like drastically each year.
Well, yeah, because he essentially went from no playing time to being a starter last year.
He's good on special teams too. And he's going to be a free agent after this year, so he's playing for a contract. So I think he's going to be a surprise on defense.
Yeah, I would. And like you said, I'd like to say that Ebron is going to surprise people in a good way.
Oh, dude, no, he's not.
But I'd take the wait and see approach with him.
Wait and see?
The guy that I think is going to really surprise guys is Ziggy Ansah.
Mm-hmm.
I think he took a backseat to Sue and Fairley. And now with both of those guys gone, right. I think he's going to be the leader of that defensive line. Mm. And, he's had at least 7 sacks in both of his first seasons.
Right.
I think he really takes the jump this year, and he becomes one of the best pass rushers in the NFL.
Oh, damn it, man. They got Manny Ramirez. Why didn't they draft Malcolm Brown? Damn it. Tyron Walker. Everybody's going to be getting exposed this year now.
What do you think, John? Who's your surprise player?
I said when I talked about this, I said Laken Tomlinson will be a surprise. I think he's going to be a very productive offensive lineman in his first season. And I've been championing the position of why can't our prospects come out in the first year and show us what they got right away.
The same number as Goddard Charles. Relax.
I'm tired of all the prospects. I'm tired of waiting for all these prospects to develop. Let's go. I think Laken's going to protect Stafford, give him that extra time. He needs to throw that 7-yard pass, and they're going to run the ball much more in this offense. I believe they want Joique Bell to be that force. They're going to use the running game to set up the pass, and I believe that this season, Laken Tomlinson will be very effective, and he'll play all the games. I'm hoping. Because I said that, I don't want him to get hurt. I got a bad feeling now because I've said Laken Tomlinson is going to be effective. He's going to blow his ACL out within the first 4 games. So we shall see.
We will blame you if it happens.
Yes.
On the other side of things, it's really easy to get down in the Lions.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of players that you can predict to disappoint because you can almost predict that the Lions are going to disappoint you as a whole.
When you get home, read the article. Google Detroit Lions. There's an MLive article on them. I think it was like from 48 hours ago. You'll laugh your ass off about how miserable Lion fans are. Just trust me.
What's it about? What do they say?
People that come from out of town, they move to Michigan, they drink the blue Kool-Aid, and it leaves them nothing but misery and heartbreak. It's hilarious. It's really funny.
And that's funny because that's what people kind of will tweet us and message us like, oh, you guys are so negative about the Lions. Well,
I know. Shut up, you morons.
And I'm not negative.
Look at all the shit we go through.
Right. Now, if you want to look, if you want to narrow your scope from the Caldwell era, we're building. But, as Lions fans, we're looking all the way back from the early 80s and 90s. That's when I started watching football. So when you look at it like that, we're going to be upset and mad because we still don't have any playoff wins. We get to the playoffs. Okay, great. We don't have any wins. 1. So when you look at it as a whole, if your butt is not on fire, if your ass is not red and you're not passionate, then, I don't know what to tell you. Sports is about passion. And if you don't drink in the Kool-Aid and think that this team is going to have great success year after year, it's going to take time. And I just don't believe that. It's just because they haven't shown it. I'm waiting. Number 1 pick, Matthew Stafford, the team as a whole. Let's go. Playoff win.
It doesn't take you a decade to win a playoff game.
Okay, did they win a playoff game this year, guys? Do they win a playoff game?
Yes, they do.
Oh, finally. Okay.
Their schedule's too hard. No way.
I think the Kool-Aid is now shifted toward Jason's side of the table.
Terrell Austin would really have to become the second coming.
I
of
like
Jesus.
the. I'm a realistic Lions fan.
You are?
I am.
That doesn't sound too realistic to me.
But I'm a realistic and I'm a hopeful Lions fan. I'm never gonna root against them.
Nobody roots against
no
them.
one roots against them.
It's just how
I take that back. Sometimes I kind of root against them. It's fun.
Let's look at your Facebook post from all last year.
That's just to get people going.
there's a lot of people who have adopted second teams and have gone line free. They really have.
F that.
No one has ever really gone Lions free. I've gone Lions free, and I still watch them every week. I'll be sitting on the couch watching them play Buffalo, and Sean Hill's the quarterback. They're like 2-9 playing the Buffalo Bills. I'm like, I'm out. I'm checked out. I'm not. I don't care. And I watch the whole game.
On the topic of Lions who cause us misery, who do you think this year is going to disappoint people the most?
For the Lions, Calvin Johnson. Nah. Shoot.
You said Calvin Johnson right away for a reason. Why do you think?
I don't know, because I predicted him to get like 8+ touchdowns this year. So I don't know.
You think
he's
that
getting older.
He's getting older? Yeah.
Who's going to be a disappointment? That good offensive line, all the publicity, 7 national advice. Matt Stafford. I think
it's an easy one.
Yeah.
And what do you think? What do you think Stafford does this year?
I think that he throws 22 touchdowns again, 23 touchdowns, but I think he throws 20 interceptions. Nationally televised games, he's going to have a lot of pressure.
John, who do you think disappoints us this year?
I think based on the fact that they're going to want to give him some chances, and it's not that easy right away to solve fumble problems, I think the fans are going to draw.
Abdullah.
Yes, Amir Abdullah is going to draw the ire of the fans early on. I have a feeling he's going to be put in key situations at the goal line, and he's going to fumble. And it's going to be a learning experience how he handles that. I don't think you just learn. I know his fumbles have gone down from his freshman year, but he's on the big stage now. You don't know how he's going to adjust. And once you kind of have the reputation as being a fumbler, people know they're going to go for that ball. How does he handle it? He's going to fumble a couple times in key spots. Let's see how he handles it. But I don't think he's going to have the greatest first year.
I have an interesting pick as who I think is going to be the biggest disappointment. And you guys may disagree with me. But I think it's going to be Golden Tate. I think he had a dick.
Golden Tate, you kidding me? He's going to be great.
You might not be wrong about that.
He had a good year last year.
About that.
But he had a good year because he was the number one guy.
And now they're going to be throwing it to Calvin a lot.
Matt Stafford loves Calvin Johnson, and he should. And why wouldn't you want to throw to arguably one of the best receivers in the league?
I'm not kidding you. I was thinking about that.
So Golden Tate, he had 1,000 yards last year, right?
Right.
If that's the benchmark now. Then you're expecting him to get at least 1,000 yards, to get some good touchdowns, and I still think he's going to have an okay season, but he's going to be the number 2 wide receiver. And obviously, if Calvin does get hurt and he becomes number 1 again, that goes out the window. But if you have a full season of Calvin Johnson, then Golden Tate, unless we become the pass happy offense of Scott Linehan in the past, it's going to be a disappointing season for him.
I agree. You could be right. I hope you're not.
I hope I'm wrong too, because I want to see the Lions succeed.
Me too.
It's gonna be a great start to the season, man. They gotta come out of the gate on fire, and they better be clicking on all cylinders. You know that schedule is brutal. And I hope you're right. I hope you're wrong. I hope that Golden Tate has a great season, and Matthew Stafford realizes that, hey, if I continue to throw to Calvin Johnson, the offense is gonna potentially not be as good as if I just give the ball to Golden State a little bit more.
Golden State.
Or if I give the ball to Golden Tate a little bit more, the offense will be a little bit more productive. And he showed it when Calvin was down. He was very productive, and he got touchdowns. So I'm hoping that with another year under the belt in the system, that they have more chemistry.
Well, I have to say, this is probably one of the most optimistic talks that we've ever had about the Lions.
Like, it's the preseason.
I don't think
seen a snap
Vinny
yet.
got really angry over the Lions, and I think that's a good sign.
Hashtag stay positive. That's it. That's the movement.
We're not hashtagging anything.
But we're gonna take another break real quick. We're gonna hit a little bit of Michigan football coming up next, and then of course our best segment in the entire podcast.
Let it out.
I know, I gotta calm down a little bit.
Let it out a little bit. Go ahead.
Yeah, length or girth.
Yeah, absolutely. And the Get Laid Bar of the Week on Motor City Sports Rant, Detroit Sports Podcast.com.
As you can hear, we're very interactive here at the Detroit Sports Podcast. We are available on all forms of social media. on Twitter, at Detroit Podcast, on Facebook, Instagram, Periscope. Go on social media, search for Detroit Sports Podcast, and we can interact with you during all the games. We love to have great debates. I believe Detroit Podcast on Twitter is one of the most interactive Twitter pages out there to interact with the fans during games, to talk about strong opinions. No puff pieces at the Detroit Sports Podcast. Hardcore fans who love Detroit sports, and we are available 24/7. We love giving away free items, so definitely check us out at Detroit Podcast. You can follow the host of the Motor City Sports Rant at Jarvi the King with a J, at Vinny Stubbs. You can follow Doc and Jock at Adam R. Strohs, and the main site for Detroit Sports Podcast at Detroit Podcast. Check us out, interact with us every single game, and we love bantering back and forth. That's one of the reasons why we created this platform. So check us out. We love interacting with you guys, and definitely check out at Detroit Podcast on Twitter. Now back to the Motor City Sports Rant with Jarvi, the King, and Vinny Stubbs.
Motor City Sports Rant, DetroitSportsPodcast.com, brought to you by Puff Pieces.
I think the Doc is a big fan of puff pieces.
I don't know what Puff Pieces are, but my mind's rattled. Jarvi, you're a Wolverine.
Wait, you don't want to know what puff pieces are? They are, individuals who kind of slant, maybe in the media or potentially individuals who are skewing the perception of the teams. Not telling it like it is, not keeping it real. We like to keep it real here at the podcast. If the teams are struggling, we're going to say it like it is. And but we are fair. We're trying to be more fair and balanced. Just trying to stay positive, looking at all the teams.
Hashtag stay positive.
Hashtag stay positive.
Hashtag puff pieces.
I'm not trying to stay positive, to be honest with you. I'm not doing it.
Hashtag Vinny loves puff.
Yep, Puff Pieces.
U of M football. I'm a Spartan. John's a Spartan. I'm pretty sure Vinny is a
Walmart Wolverine.
I'm a Specs Howard. I don't know.
Are you a Walmart Central Michigan fan?
What would
I
the
like
Specs
the Wolverines
Howard?
more than the Spartans.
What's the mascot for the Specs Howard?
I don't know. The headphones,
Be a tripod.
the debt,
The crippling debts. The Specs Howard crippling debts.
the thieves.
But there's so much hype around Jim Harbaugh and this year of Michigan football, which, if you haven't realized, and to every Spartan fan's delight, they've been horrible the past couple of years. So, Harbaugh is supposed to be the savior.
Yeah.
He's just supposed to come in and, he's playing with his shirt off. He's
That guy's a
giving
maniac.
everybody
He
milk.
Better produce immediately because that's crazy.
And I think the Doc brought up on the Doc and Jock show, what if Michigan doesn't succeed?
It's going to.
What if Michigan doesn't succeed right away?
Like,
What's going to happen?
I give Harbaugh 3 years. His
Yeah.
first year, he'll make an immediate impact. The second year, look out.
Okay,
There's
Vinny,
no doubt in my mind. Unless he's that crazy that no one wants to play for the guy,
Okay.
and they just fall apart immediately. I don't know.
when you say immediate impact, what are you looking to see?
9 wins, 8 wins.
Well, and that's the thing. I think right now, many are predicting Michigan. They see them as they'll finish as high as third in the Big Ten East. So that would be behind Ohio State and Michigan State. I think they may even finish. I think fourth is probably the highest because I would put Penn State ahead of them.
Mm-hmm.
I think Christian Hackenberg. He's going to be one of the top. He's going to be one of the top draft picks next year if he comes out. So, like you said, I think it's going to be 8-4 is really like the benchmark and the lowest that people are expecting. So, I mean, what happens? Like, I think 7-5 is very realistic for Michigan. But what if they actually come in and
6-6, yeah.
6-6? What if they even go lower? What if it's 5-7?
No way. Not with Harbaugh's track record. No way.
Well,
That guy's feared. No
his track
way.
record. It's funny you mentioned that. At Stanford, his first season, 4-8. His second season, 5-7. Then he started winning. He went 8-5 and 12-1.
3 years. They got more talent in Michigan than Stanford had when he took over.
That's a good point. But really, who on this team right now is that talent?
Oh,
I
don't know.
Exactly. At Stanford, he had Toby Gerhardt and he had Andrew Luck. Toby Gerhardt. He's
is
not
Toby
that.
Gerhardt?
He's in Jacksonville still.
Oh,
but
bless
he
his
was
heart.
he was a good college running back. He was a really really good college running back. He finished, I think, second or third in the Heisman race. And then he had Andrew Luck, who's arguably one of the best QBs in the league right now. I think it's still to say. I mean, he could be one of the best quarterbacks.
Now, wasn't it in his first season that he took Stanford and went to and played USC and won the game?
I think that was his second season.
Okay, so early on he had success versus a national powerhouse.
I mean, I wouldn't say that the game that they won against USC, it was a late minute touch, like late fourth quarter touchdown. It's not like they went in and just destroyed them.
I really do believe people are going to have patience for Harbaugh in the first season, but I do think he needs a signature win that first year, or at least play very, very competitively versus State, versus he needs to play very competitively versus Michigan State, Ohio State. He needs to play. He needs to show that there is some progress, because Michigan in the last few years has been kind of dominated on both sides of the ball. They haven't won against Michigan State and Ohio State consistently, and I do think people are going to be a little bit more patient the first year. And the reason why I asked it was because I've talked to people and they say, this hire for Michigan, everyone's put him on a pedestal. Like right now, people know that he's in France and he's traveling in Europe. They followed him along his journey, his first 4 or 5 months. Everyone wants to know where he's at. Everyone wants to know, hey, is his shirt off at the camps? What's he doing? Everyone is fascinated with Jim Harbaugh because he's been propped up to be the savior of the program. I do believe, though, I got a good feeling that he's going to have success. But right now, the big concern is, can you match the success that Ohio State's having? You first have to reach the hurdle of playing well versus Michigan State, and that's going to be tough as it is. But can they reach the hurdle to play? Everyone doesn't want, Michigan fans, let's be honest, they don't want to just beat Michigan State. They want to win national titles. They want to beat Ohio State. They want to be relevant. And that's going to be the ultimate goal. Will he reach it? That's going to be a great question to see.
I think so.
You think he'll reach the ultimate success?
Yes.
Get into the playoff
Yes.
and win national titles?
Yes.
I don't know. I don't think so.
So you think you're going to give him at least 3 years?
3 years.
If they go the first 2 seasons, they actually have losing seasons. Let's say let's say the first season they go 5 and 7.
Not going to happen.
This is hypothetical.
Then you got to fire his ass.
So you would actually fire him?
Yeah, they go under 500 2 years straight with Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, he's a maniac.
You're not even going to give him to that third year?
No, he's a maniac.
I think some people will obviously be saying that. I don't think fans can really take losing for much longer.
Dude,
but
I can't take it.
I do think that there are enough people out there that Harbaugh, it's a different thing than when they brought Rich Rod in. When they brought Rich Rod in, like me as a Michigan State fan, I was actually excited to see what he's going to do, because I thought Rich Rod, what he did at West Virginia
defense was so bad.
Right. But that was when he's coming in, and it's the same thing though with
Remember
Harbaugh
when
coming
they gave
in.
up 75 points to Illinois. Remember that?
That was a bad game.
That was crazy as hell. And people were calling in the radio stations going, I thought that was a great game. Like, what?
It was more entertaining, but yeah, it didn't reflect
to 75.
It didn't reflect in the wins and losses for sure.
Oh my God.
So by year 3, they need to be at least competing for the Big Ten championship.
Check it out. First year, 8-4. Second year, 9-3. Third year,
college playoff.
I don't know.
Vinny's
I don't know.
Vinny's on the to the moon plan, man. He's like,
They need to win 8 games this year. That's it. And then I don't want to get ahead of myself.
see, I wish Harbaugh would have came to Michigan 5-6 years ago. It just right now, I just feel like the competition's so great in the SEC, in Michigan, and Michigan State. You got Urban Meyer.
Antonio are so good.
It's just right now.
God, they're built. They're stacked for the future.
I just feel like the expectations are super high for Michigan, and it's super tough. It's not an easy thing to do to build a college program right now to win a national title.
It's not, man.
But right now, Michigan's college football sales are through the roof. There's at least, I think, 90,000 season tickets. Everyone's got Michigan back on the radar. They're talking about Michigan. So far, so good. But because of the way he was hired and the timing of it, his recruiting class is okay. But right now, you're going to have to see in his first recruiting class, in his first couple years, what are they going to do? What impact are they going to have?
When's that? Go ahead, man. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. I was going to say,
when is that contract up with Adidas? They need to go to Nike.
They have.
They've signed the deal.
Right.
It's like $169 million.
That was going to be my next point.
They went to Nike?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Thank you, Jesus. Holy hell.
Where have you been?
He's been in the
Where have
bar.
I been? I've been in the bar and jerking off in time chambers like Goku.
So that's why you don't know. And then, Jason, did you read the article today in the Detroit News?
Oh, my God, thank you, Jesus.
State's got a deal with Nike, but it's only $35 million. And Michigan's contract with Nike is well over $100 million.
It's because it's Michigan, and
That's why it sucks.
first, the
Michigan State's far ahead of them.
Michigan is a brand.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. Michigan State has the better team right now.
I say at least one
That's what
dumb
matters.
thing per podcast.
Hey, Vinny, did you know that I heard Jim Harbaugh over there at Michigan?
Oh, my God. Are you serious? He never responded to that tweet you sent out either.
Yeah, he hired someone, sorry, Vinny, a little bit more qualified than you.
I think one thing that'll be interesting to watch going through the seasons too is if he's progressing slower and people are getting a little bit more uneasy about this really strange guy. I think the NFL is going to be calling.
That's really strange, guy.
The NFL is going to be calling for Jim Harbaugh again. I think probably 2 or 3 years down the line, you're going to be hearing about the Raiders or the Jets. They're looking to try and steal away Jim Harbaugh again.
I think he's going to stay.
And I think Jim Harbaugh, if he isn't close, he's going to listen.
Wait, guys, I don't know. Could the stars align? Could he win the national title 3 to 4 years down the line? Could he be the Lions head coach? If Jim Caldwell continues to flame out in 4 years, let's start it right here on the podcast.
What is this?
Jim Harbaugh to the Lions.
I hate you.
What? It would be perfect. He could have. Now I have to root for them to have success.
I hate Jim
early
Harbaugh.
on. He has to have success early on. Win the national title year 2 or 3. We broom out Caldwell. We bring the Messiah Jim Harbaugh to save the Lions.
Oh, my God. I didn't even think about that.
Harbaugh to the Lions.
Please.
I hate both.
Oh,
20,
I hope
20
Caldwell does bad.
I hate both of you. Another quick thing on college football.
I like that.
SEC had their media days this week, and they were talking about Jim Harbaugh and his satellite camps, going down to SEC territory. And, I know there's a lot of, ruffled feathers over the whole, trying to steal guys from SEC teams. And they were just like, hey, if he's going to continue doing this, then we're going to do the same thing. We're going to come up to, to your area. So does that worry you at all that teams like Alabama and Auburn and LSU coming up to Michigan and Ohio and Pennsylvania, the places where we're really, Michigan State and Michigan are really trying to get their core players, if you get an offer from Nick Saban, I mean, why would you ever want to go to, U of M or Michigan State?
I got Alabama coming up to Michigan to watch some of my players. I'm pretty happy about the players I got then, so I'm not worried about that. So if Alabama was coming to Michigan and looking at my guys, I know I got some talent. But why wouldn't you? I would go everywhere and try to scope out players. Who cares? It's a free-for-all. Do it.
But does it worry you as a fan that they may take some of your, because they're not coming up to.
No, it doesn't worry
They're not coming
me.
up to get the 2 or 3 stars. They're coming up to get, the Mike Webbers from Cass Tech, who, he's going to Ohio State. They're coming to get those top-tier guys.
Get them the hell out of here, then.
Somebody.
Yeah, no.
Get them out.
No, I think the best players nationally kind of tend to be in the South in terms of speed.
I agree.
And different sections of the country play different brands of football. The Midwest style of football is a little bit more, running game, big offensive linemen and things like that, whereas the South is a little bit more of a run and gun, great offensive spread type situations, and you need really fast wide receivers. But I do think that there's enough talent. There's a lot of young guys that are super fast and super talented for the talent to be, spread out all over the country. But I do believe that if they start poaching the best players here in Michigan, it's going to be tougher. But I do believe that these guys, though, the mark of good coaches is finding talent that maybe not 5-star that everyone looks at in the magazines, all the Phil Steeles out there. But if you can find a 3-star guy and make him into a 5-star, that's what D'Antonio's been doing.
Yeah, and I think it would hurt more Ohio State and Michigan, because those are the 2 schools that, they really rely on getting that top tier talent, that they're always in the top recruiting classes. Michigan State, D'Antonio, he takes guys who are 2 and 3 stars, like Shalik Calhoun, Connor Cook, he takes all those guys that they're on nobody's radar, and he creates, something out of nothing.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. No, I do believe that, the interesting fact is that a little bit of the cachet of Nick Saban kind of diminished with the fact that he lost to Ohio State, not to another SEC team. A lot of times, the fans in Alabama are rabid. They're all over the program there at Alabama. They had success, so they've kind of been the dogs haven't been barking as much. But this year in the playoff, you kind of thought that Alabama was going to win that game, and Ohio State came in and pretty much dominated them. And for Alabama to lose to Ohio State, the power's now shifted back, I think, to the Midwest a little bit. A lot of people were down on the Big Ten. Remember that. A lot of shit talking was going on with the Big Ten, and they came back and had a really good showing in the bowl games. So I think if the Big Ten goes to poach the SEC, that could happen too. Get national talent.
Okay, everybody. Everything that you've heard so far on this podcast, forget it. Because right now,
Oh my God!
yeah,
Thank you,
Benny
Jesus.
he just sat up. He went from 6 o'clock to 12 o'clock high.
God.
He just got rock hard.
Okay, let me see where we're at here. It's time for length or girth. Question number 1 on length or girth. Jason the King Jarvi. Victor Martinez went on the DL, and he was batting like garbage. Ever since he's come back up, he has been kicking ass, dude. Flat out. 271 average, 6 home runs, 32 RBIs. King, P-Mart's consistency, length or girth.
I go length all day on this one. Victor Martinez, he's one of those special hitters, and I just think he's gonna be the bright spot while Cabrera's out. And even when Cabrera comes back, if we are, in a wild card contention, I think it's gonna be interesting down the stretch.
I agree. Length. I think he's gonna end up batting 280, give or take. Hopefully, give. I think he's gonna give you about 15 home runs and hopefully 70 RBIs, and he can contribute into the playoffs for getting to the wild card. Heron and Papelbon, please, Dombrowski, before I hang myself. Question number 2 on length or girth. King. Last month, Anibal Sanchez, his ERA was 5.69, and he was 6-7. Now, 9-7, 4.55 ERA. Anibal Sanchez, his consistency, and the droppage of his ERA.
It's a tough one. If I could go middle, I would go middle. But if I have to choose one, I mean, just for the fact that he needs to do this, I'd go length. Because he's one of our top 3 starters, and if we want any chance to make it into the playoffs this year, he needs to be consistent. And consistently good. So I'm gonna go length.
I'm going to go middle too, but I'm going to go length because I'm a slappy and we're like hanging on by a thread.
You are a slappy this week. What has happened to you?
I don't know.
I think you may have been
because
abducted.
if they go under 500, there's nothing to root for anymore. It's over. What are we going to do? Root for the Cubs? I mean, we're done. If they go under 500, we're hit. So I hopefully it's going to stay right where it's at. His ERA, it'll be north of 4. But hopefully he can get more wins under his belt. I had him at the beginning of the season winning 14 games anyway. And I think you had him winning 18. And I thought you should have been drug tested. Question number 3 on length or girth. JD Martinez, 288, 26 home runs and 60 RBIs. The guy is hitting the ball like he is out of his mind. Juiced on steroids, but we know he's not because he's a Detroit Tiger. The dude is a feckless human being. Dude, question number 3 on length or girth. JD Martinez's power streak.
I gotta go girth here because I can't see him really continuing this level of play. I think last year you saw him drop off, and unless he's really made the turn from being a really good player to a great player, I think we're gonna see a drop off at some point.
Don't you open your mouth about the best.
Shut up, Richard Sherman. Stop it right now.
JD's the best. Don't hate on JD. Don't you dare.
JD is not the best,
Dude,
though.
he's an animal. Dude.
He's like number 3 on our team.
Why are we 500?
Pitching.
Damn it!
That's it. You can't hate on JD, man. Come on.
I can hate on Brad Ausmus.
Yeah, you can. Yes, you can.
So what do you say?
Length. I think he gets 40 home runs. And, let me see. Where's he at in the RBIs here? He's got 60 RBIs. I think he gets 40 home runs and 95 RBIs.
Hey, that's unbelievable.
That's pretty good because
You
he might
can't
get
have it
100.
both ways, John.
He might get 100 RBIs.
You play the Richard Sherman drop for me, and then you play the unbelievable for him? What?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's unbelievable. That's good.
You're sketchy, John. That'll do it for Length of Girth. Wow. So what's going on?
It's that time of the show, Vinny. We
Rest
got to
of the
know.
weekend.
Wait, we're not going to know where we're. I need to get laid. Where are we going to go?
Everyone needs to get laid.
I'm gonna go to dinner and a movie.
I'm going to go to my basement and go on Brazzers, and then I'm probably going to go to the Firebird Tavern in downtown Detroit. But that's not the Get Laid Bar of the Week. The Get Laid Bar of the Week. Rockstars Ford Road in Garden City. Known for its cozy atmosphere and friendly staff. Like that matters. Check this out, 3-to-1 women to dude ratio, and I swear to you, you will get laid. Grab your wiener and a beer. Help me help you, and feel free to message me on Twitter after you've checked out of the scene and gotten yourself laid. Motor City Sports Rant, Detroit Sports Podcast, biatch! Oh my God! .com.
It was another good episode. You know, it's the summer, and
so
I'm not gonna
hot.
be I'm not gonna be here next week.
No.
'Cause I'll be on vacation again.
It's hotter than two guys docking outside.
Ooh, moon docking.
What? Moondocking.
I don't even know what that is.
You don't want to know.
Okay,
Look
good.
it up.
Google it. They Googled it at the station yesterday. I almost walked out. But it was actually fascinating. So I stayed.
Vinny said he needs to get back to the gym. He's going to run after this podcast.
Oh, well,
I've lost
feels-
weight, but I
enjoy
look
that.
fatter. It's weird, man. My body's like
You've
freaking out.
So it's all in the gut.
Yeah, I'm 190. I
What do you
feel
want?
like 205, though. I lost 15 pounds, man,
If
but I
you-
just feel real gross.
We don't have
man.
Periscope
It's so
up,
hot
but Vinny is
outside.
feeling himself up.
Yeah, I am grabbing my boobs. They're there, and I'm going to do my hardest to procrastinate and not lose them, but talk about losing it.
But that'll do it for this episode
Absolutely.
of the Motor City Sports Rant. I'm Jason Jarvi.
I'm Vinny Stubbs, Motor City Sports Rant, Detroit Sports Podcast.com.
Okay, nice idiot. F you. Bye-bye.
Good day, sir. I said good day.
All right. Take care now. Bye-bye then.
Loser.